Alright, here we have the heat exchanger off. Flushing it with a barnacle buster. Basically poured maybe a third of a gallon in this small bucket with this small pump, and basically just circulating it through. So normally the exhaust or the intake is down at the bottom here near the pressure switch or sensor, and it goes through these copper pipes on the inside. If you can see those, that's where the raw water normally comes up through, and then it exits up here, up at the top. And so I'm basically back flushing this using this small pump and just circulating this barnacle buster through it backwards. I'll probably switch it forwards a couple times and then backwards, and I'm even going to put the barnacle buster basically through the antifreeze inside part where it goes through the block. I will say that I started to actually do this with the anode actually in it, and I realized that this stuff's probably going to eat away at that anode, so make sure to take that out. That normally goes right in here. And I'm also realizing you can do this, at least the raw water side, which is the side that's probably going to get clogged, entirely on the engine. I really did not need to take this thing out to flush the raw water side, only to get at the thermostat, which goes in here, or to put the barnacle buster where the antifreeze side is. I mentioned that I started this flush using just regular tap water, and I ran it for a couple minutes just to test this out, and actually the water was clear. So the water itself wasn't, getting anything out of this heat exchanger. As soon as I put this barnacle buster in, within 20 seconds of looking at this, it just turned this green color that you can see here. So I may even flush the engine block. Here's the thermostat. Goes in this side over here, and the O-ring, there's two O-rings on the block here that have to sit in here, and the heat exchanger will then bolt on. To get this heat exchanger actually off, I didn't mention this, but this back bolt here was incredibly difficult to get to. I put just I think a box wrench on it, and I got like a 1/16 of a turn at a time, and then putting this thing back on here. This took me about an hour to get that one bolt back in there because it's just impossible to get to. Hopefully if you're just flushing this out, you really don't need to take this thing off. You do need to take it off for the thermostat though. We got this heat exchanger back on, all 4 bolts. We plug in the 2 wires back to the pressure sensor. I still have to put the anode back in. We connect the hose here. When we fill it up with antifreeze, you're supposed to use Dex Cool 50% diluted with water. But what's surprisingly not mentioned in the manual that people online talk about is you fill it up, you take the cap off here, and you pour antifreeze in. But there's actually a hole in the back corner of the block here, and there's this little cap here to take off to allow the antifreeze to bleed through the block.